After a disastrous performance for the GOP in the 2025 election cycle, Democrats looked poised for major gains as the 2026 midterms approach. In this video, we'll be taking a look at where things currently stand and the latest polls from every competitive race. Be sure to watch until the end, as there are 3 states that look to flip for the first time in any of my prediction videos. We'll begin by filling out the solid seats for both parties and then work our way up into the competitive races. As always, I'll start off with the solid blue states. The solid blue states remain the same and include Oregon, Colorado, New Mexico, Illinois, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Jersey, and Delaware. For the solid red states, we have some changes. We have Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, and South Carolina. One unique case this cycle is Nebraska, which is actually projected to elect independent candidate Dan Osborne rather than a Republican. With all the solid states filled out, the Democrats stand at 42 seats, and the Republicans stand at 45 seats, and independents actually pick up 1 seat this election cycle. We will now move on to the likely seats. Let's start with the likely blue seats. These include Virginia and New Hampshire, where Democrats are strongly favored to win. On the Republican side, the likely seats are Alaska and Florida. Both states continue to lean comfortably towards the GOP, with Florida in particular becoming a more reliably Republican stronghold since the late 2010s. Next, we'll move on to the lean states for both parties. These are states where one party has a noticeable advantage, but the race is still competitive enough to shift if the environment changes. We'll start with our first lean blue state, Georgia. Jon Ossoff is gearing up for his first re-election bid since flipping the seat in the 2021 runoff. This time around, the Republican field is crowded and uncertain. With Brian Kemp officially stepping aside, the GOP has several contenders but no clear conscience pick. Early polling shows Ossoff holding small but steady leads over most Republican candidates, thanks in part to strong fundraising and high name recognition. The GOP challengers are trying to break out and define themselves before the primary. With Georgia continuing to trend towards razor-thin statewide margins, Ossoff enters the race with a narrow advantage, but the state still remains highly competitive. For now, Georgia leans Democratic, but only slightly. Our next lean blue state is North Carolina. The North Carolinian Senate seat opened up after Senator Thom Tillis decided not to run again, creating one of the biggest opportunities for Democrats in the Southeast. Former Governor Roy Cooper stepped into the race early and immediately and became one of the most recognizable names in the field. He enters with strong favorability and has a long record in statewide leadership. Republicans are lining up behind Michael Whatley, the RNC chairman and a major ally of President Donald Trump. Whatley has strong backing within the GOP, but still needs to boost his statewide visibility. Polling at this stage shows Cooper with a moderate lead, but plenty of undecided voters remain. With both candidates expected to raise massive amounts of money, North Carolina is shaping up to be one of the most expensive Senate races of 2026. However, Cooper stands out with the lead as of now, and for the first time in years, North Carolina's Senate looks to flip Democratic. Our final lean blue state is Minnesota. With Tina Smith stepping away from the Senate, Minnesota became an open Senate race for the first time in years. Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan entered early and is currently the strongest candidate on the Democratic side. Republicans have several contenders, though none have yet consolidated support or shown an ability to significantly cut into Minnesota's Democratic lean. While Minnesota is known for close statewide races, its fundamentals still slightly favor Democrats, and early ratings continue to reflect that. The state goes into the lean blue column for now. Now, let's move on to the lean states for the Republicans. Our first lean red state is Texas. Senator John Cornyn is preparing for another run, though his standing within the GOP has shifted somewhat in recent years. Democrats continue to make gains in urban and suburban areas, but Republicans retain an early statewide advantage. Early signs point to a competitive but still Republican-leaning race, with Corwin or any other GOP nominee starting ahead. The next lean red state is Ohio. Ohio has moved towards the GOP in recent cycles, but Democrats continue to keep an eye on it, especially depending on who enters the race. Republicans have a strong bench, while Democrat chances hinge heavily on whether Sherrod Brown can rally voters that he won in the past. For now, it's looking like Ohio will lean Republican, but it still remains in the competitive conversation. And our final lean red state, at least in past projections, was Maine, but this time things have changed. Susan Collins is facing growing pressure from both the approval numbers and the emerging Democratic field. Democrats have a more unified effort this cycle and are treating Maine as a top-tier target. While Collins still has her base of support, the political movement in this state suggests a much tighter race than in previous years. As a result, Maine moves out of the lean Republican category and into the tilt Democratic, marking a notable flip as we head into the most competitive states. We are now down to our final two states, the states of Iowa and Michigan. Iowa was not expected to be particularly competitive until Senator Joni Ernst announced she would not seek another term. That instantly transformed the race into one of the biggest opportunities for Democrats in the Midwest. Ashley Hinson jumped into the Republican primary with a strong early lead and key endorsements, but Democrats quickly rallied around a field that performed better than many expected, especially in the suburbs and mid-sized cities. As new polling emerged, Democrats began to gain traction with a message focused on economic issues and bipartisan appeal. In this updated prediction, Iowa looks to flip towards the Democrats, marking another one of the surprising shifts this cycle. And finally, we arrive at Michigan, one of the most important battlegrounds of 2026. With Gary Peters retiring, both parties face a wide-open race in a state that continues to swing between the parties. Democrats currently have an edge thanks to their control of statewide offices and a strong party organization. Republicans, however, view this seat as one of their best opportunities to pick up a battleground state, especially after their presidential win here in 2024. Michigan remains highly competitive, and this race could go either way depending on the eventual nominees. For now, the state leans Democratic, but it is absolutely one of the closest contests on the entire map. And there you have it. For the first time ever, Democrats are projected to win the Senate in 2026. With all states filled out, Democrats hold 50 seats, Republicans hold 49, and Independents hold 1. That gives Democrats a net gain and puts them in a stronger position heading into 2026. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment your 2026 predictions below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.